Coming to you live from the mystical planet known as Straya. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
Welcome to the 156th episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. A pretty bloody special one today as this is our kind of personal launch of our DestinyFANZ Australian Bushfire Appeal. I nearly fucked it.
This is why we needed a script. This is why we needed a script for the little promo. Has that featured yet? The little promo we shot?
It ran. The good folks at DCP ran it. Spoke about it through the episode yesterday, and it's in their audio episode. So we managed to invade that for a little bit to talk about the Bushfire Appeal, which we're going to do probably at length in a little while when we finish catching up, because we have not streamed for 3 weeks at this point. Right? It's been a while. It has been. Yeah. Because we had 2 weekends off. 2. It's been good because I was pretty sick of you at the back end of last year. I'm like, get the fuck away from this garbage for as long as possible. But
it's like there's like, what day is it? That's how it was over the Christmas break and the Christmas and New Year's break. I was like, I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah, we all still spoke to each other, obviously, because we're mates, and that's why this is such a good thing. But Matt, you went down a real spiral of giving up on personal hygiene and all that sort of shit, didn't you?
Dude, I it's been a while since I've just played like games every day for like 6 to 8 hours. I was playing Tarkov like 6 to 8 hours every day with Sassy over the holidays. And Danny was playing The Witcher. So
I was wondering how you got away with it.
That's how I got away with it. I was like, I don't know why I never introduced Danny to The Witcher before, but we just finished the Netflix. I'm like, oh, I've got The Witcher. Why don't you give that a shot? And she absolutely loves Zelda, and so she's just been going absolutely batshit crazy with The Witcher. And I'm like, great, I'll play a game too.
Well, there you go. Now I don't think I logged into Discord through the entire holiday period and didn't see you and Sassy sitting in there. I don't think I did. I came by every now and then and said g'day, but like seriously, they were big boy gamer hours, man.
Yeah, it felt good. It felt really good.
Just to do shit all. Yeah, good on you.
Yeah.
Slothy, how was your, I don't know, time away from the podcast, but not us? Yeah, good. He's given a thumbs up for all the audio listeners because this is, in fact, a podcast.
No, it was all right. I woke up at 1:30 this afternoon. I was like, just a relaxing afternoon. For fuck's sake. We've got the podcast to do.
Yeah. Did
we
Maddie,
all love getting together.
Did Maddie's calendar reminder wake you up? Is that what happened?
Yes.
There you go. We've just proven that it works, Matt. We're going to do that for everything from now on to annoy the shit out of Sloth.
Fucking thing.
How to set an alarm on someone else's phone. It's beautiful.
I'm just going to book time in with Sloth to play games.
I have to fucking accept the invite and check my emails first. So
yeah, okay. So it's not perfect, but it's good.
It's not perfect.
Well, no, if you give me access to your calendar.
No, eat shit.
I'll just add it for you, mate.
Oh, well, it is a new year. So it's, last time we had an episode, it was 2019. So it's 2020 now. How did you go? Did you just make a New Year's resolution? Did you resolve to do anything in 2020 that you haven't done in previous years?
I mean, I wouldn't call it a resolution, but I've got some big things to tick off this year, such as finish my PhD. So I've
You've been trying to do that for the last 3 years.
Oh,
You've got no fucking.
Yeah,
it's one of
but
those things that just takes that long, Slothy. It's not.
Yeah. My
What,
funding.
it's not a
ex-
fucking 3-week course like every other fucking army course in the fucking in the wider army.
No, not like the one that you got from University of Uganda, the doctorate. Anyway,
Yeah. So I've got to the middle of this year and then my funding expires. So then it's just all free work, if anything that's not done since then. So I read 120 articles over 2 days this week, which was my goal to get that done. So there's a big chunk of my lit review done now, which I'm sort of writing up. So that's one thing. I in preparation for finishing my PhD and also running out of funding is started the second YouTube channel for the Tarkov stuff. That's my other big goal, is to see if I can replicate what's happened with Marlin Games and get something going, because
The
essentially
videos on that channel are better than the ones that you've been doing as Marlin Games, though.
that's actually a nice compliment. Thanks, Sloth.
I can stand to watch those ones.
Yeah, good.
I thought it was harsh.
Like I think there's a big jump. Like when I get to finish my PhD, be like, do I want to do content creation? And the short answer is, if it's just Destiny lore, that's just way too much risk. So if I can diversify and have another channel that is ticking over too, then there could be a good avenue. But there you go. That's my two things: fucking content creation, PhD.
You're a very different man when you play Tarkov. I think a lot of people, if they were to stumble on your second channel, probably wouldn't even recognize your voice, let alone your attitude or anything. Because I mean, if they listen to the podcast, they would. But
yeah,
if you went straight from a lore video into that, you wouldn't. Yeah, you sound like, I don't know. Very different.
Are you going to post that video of you and I? That
on Pornhub, maybe.
Well, no, I did have that up there, but then I wasn't happy with the not the Pornhub one. I wasn't happy with the editing. I don't know. It was my first video, so I
wasn't happy with you beeping out all of the cursing.
The swearing. Yeah, I'll put that back in now, actually. You know what's really nice? Not giving an absolute fuck about copyright, because there's no risk for me at the moment. So I'm just using whatever content I want anywhere, regardless of copyright. We'll see what happens. It's nice not to have not to
use
a piece of material and it takes down your whole channel.
Good.
Good. Slothy, what was your New Year's resolution?
I haven't done New Year's resolutions for a very, very, very long time because I end up breaking them and I just don't care that much. But for the sake of this bit, my New Year's resolution is to be less of a see you next Tuesday to my mates.
Is this where you tell us that we're not your mates? I think I just fucked his joke. Anyway.
Hey, but aren't you doing your form of exercise?
Yeah. Well, that's not a New Year's resolution. That's just something that's been in the works that just happened to be this New Year's. So I've been fighting to, if you guys have been around my channel, you know me or anything like that, is that I used to be very active before my injuries. I used to do rugby. I used to play cricket. I used to run. I used to blah, 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 blah. And it's been a couple of years in the making, but DVA has finally signed off on me to do a specialized, me and a few other people who are in the same position, to do a specialized Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu martial arts
training.
That's right.
Cool.
So
haven't you already had the first lesson or not?
No, next Friday. We had the induction and all that sort of shit. This Friday just gone.
So next Saturday, you will have tales of your first aggressive cuddling session.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually really looking forward to hearing about that. And seeing you, like, remember that time when Matt turned up with a shiner? Like, he's
yeah.
I'm like, oh,
I went back to MMA this week as well, and just got fucking beat on by. That's
because you spent 3 weeks in your fucking pajama pants, man. Like,
yeah,
that's what
exactly.
happened. That's what happens. There's cause and effect.
Yeah. Nice. What about your resolutions?
I made two, and I've taken them pretty seriously. My first one was to stop telling people off on Twitter.
That's a good start.
It's fail. It's going about as good as my second one, which is get off the piss. So, cheers.
You've already. What your resolution was to not drink at all?
No, God no.
Just less. Less.
No. I've been been running and stuff, but I'm probably in better nick than I've been for a couple of years. But yeah,
running from the fucking.
I am making a concerted effort to cut back on the beers mainly because they're fucking no good to the guts.
Yeah, and the beers will get you.
But I mean, it's Christmas, so it's nearly impossible to give up on drinking at Christmas.
Honestly,
you're so piss fit by the end of Christmas, you could just drink fucking 18 beers and be no worries.
About the Twitter stuff, do you walk away from Twitter? Like, do you like? Some people like conflict, and it gets like, even though they get fired up, they feel good about it, and some people like to avoid conflict. Like because I've seen you've been throwing punches on Twitter last year, specifically.
He's been throwing digital punches.
You have been swinging for the fences.
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you enjoy it or not?
I don't know. It's just kind of like, I can't cop fucking idiots saying their bit and going uncontested, and that's probably the issue. I just can't not. I just can't.
You know
not.
what it
It's
is?
like if we were standing in a pub,
mate.
If we were standing in a pub,
yes, that's what I was about to say. It's
and
you
someone-
after about 10 beers in the pub and someone's talking crap.
yeah, and someone was there just talking like, oh yeah, look, telling some absolute bullshit. You'd turn around and go,
I've invested in
mate.
cryptos and I just sold about fucking $500,000 Ripple yesterday.
So when I fucking tweet anything at someone, I'm really just pulling that face that you pull at someone like that, where you go,
Sure,
cunt,
buddy.
whatever. But I don't know. I just think that I've kind of changed my tune a little bit of it all.
What did we say? What did we say that we weren't going to say this podcast?
Oh, did I say it? Did I?
Yeah.
You didn't even notice you said it.
Didn't even notice.
No.
Even Sloth said, "See you next Tuesday." You just straight out potty mouth it.
I called someone a blue engram on the other day on Twitter. Wow, that's
engram.
Not bad.
That's bad.
That's not
just
bad.
Underwhelming.
That's underwhelming.
Okay.
Sorry, I mean, when we're talking about
most
see you
likely
next
shit.
Tuesdays on Twitter, then I'm going to say see you next Tuesday at some point. So we'll just. I'm
So
sorry.
maybe people can share their New Year's resolutions, which will very likely fail over the 2020. Feel free if you're on the YouTube comments or in chat, you can let us know your
Tell us what New Year's resolution you've made that you've already failed catastrophically on the fucking 10th or 11th of January.
Should we quickly touch on this whole art thing that you see around us here, and what we're actually doing with it?
Absolutely. So on Wednesday this week, Red Cross Australia became available to be as a charitable cause to be supported through Tilt to Fire. Now, we had been waiting.
Red Cross Australia.
That's what I said, isn't it?
Did you? Oh.
Yeah. Just listen. It's cool. So before that, didn't really have an option. We'd been talking for probably a week and a half about what we were going to do, because we did feel like it got to the point where we had to do something. So we've kind of banded together with all of our ANZ friends, I suppose, and we've started the DestinyFANZ Australian Bushfire Appeal, which is, you know, you don't have to be Australian or from New Zealand or anywhere over here directly involved to support it. You can jump on from wherever you are in the world, and it's just sort of like a Destiny community thing to be able to get everyone involved and support something that's obviously a cause that's really close to all of us, given that most of our country at this point has been on fire or has been incredibly close to huge bushfires that are literally bigger than countries like the Netherlands and shit like that. That's how out of control it is. So that's where we're at.
The stats are pretty nutty. They're 10 million hectares of land. Was it 500 million animals?
Yeah, 500 million
have been basically incinerated.
So
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so over the course of the next 3 weeks, it runs through to the February 1st, technically, but the end of January, we're going to be streaming, doing kind of like, I guess for want of a better term, variety nights on the DDU channel, where the three of us, like tonight, we're going to jump on, we're going to pull in great friend of the show, Jay Sniperton, and we're going to do some raids, because none of us, like, I'm so lazy and I never raid. And
I was just about to say,
it'll be hilarious.
who?
I will fail. So it is, and Matt's like doesn't play Destiny, so he's just incredibly underleveled. And so there's that. You know, don't have to log in to read the lore. But
so wait, did I know you spoke about the general, but I was sort of looking at Twitter when you were speaking, so maybe you already said this, but people can help out in multiple ways, right, with the campaign. Yep. So they can either, if they would like to run their own streams, they can piggyback on the campaign. And even create their a sub campaign under DDU, so they can tally their own donations, right?
Yep.
Or if you're not a streamer or a content creator and you just like to donate, you can donate through the Tiltify link as well.
Absolutely. So, I mean, we wanted to empower people to like jump in and have the opportunity to do their own sort of thing, you know, however they want to do it, and have their own tally, because we think that's important. You know, like if you've only got to look at like the way Ain't Pro's gone today and this morning, where he's raised over $300 just today. So he's flying, like he's absolutely killing it, and he's in a great mood, and it's just awesome to see someone jumping in and contributing. So, you know
what I thought? You don't have to be a content creator either, because I know, like, you know, I was talking to my family and my mum and dad, and they're like, do you know where we can donate? There's so many different things, and we want to make sure the money's gone the right spot. Like, maybe you're not a you can still set up a campaign, right, and just give people the link. Absolutely. You know that it's going to, it's going to go to the Red Cross. So, you know, if your workplace or your family, or you know that people want to donate and they're a bit hesitant about, you know, going through someone they don't know, just go jump underneath the campaign and set it up. Either share our link or make your own link so you can keep a tally and, you know, hand the hat around at work or something.
Yeah, hassle people. That's what it's all about. Like, seriously, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to really quantify it at the moment, because, you know, we see so many awesome things that the Destiny community does in terms of, you know, like GCX and all that stuff that goes on mid-year with supporting St. Jude, and that's incredible. But this is really the first time that it's ever been something that, like, it's a fucking disaster, and it's literally in our backyard. It's been a crazy few months, and to be able to do something sort of positive coming out the back end of it, to be able to set this up and give everyone the opportunity to contribute sort of on their own terms, I think I'm really excited about it. And I think the tally at the moment, and I'll give it to everyone right now so that you know where it is at the time that you're listening to it. So in a couple of days, we've raised just over $1,500. So it's off and it's flying, and we're absolutely killing it. So if you're rocking on in our stream or any of the streams that we do over the next 3 weeks, !donate will bring up the link that you can jump on and just get in. And if, you know, obviously it doesn't matter how much you donate, we don't give a shit, but like, it's as long as it's within your means and you're not doing anything silly, like, it is absolutely appreciated, and it will go to a great cause, because that's what the Red Cross here is all about, you know, the relief effort and getting people back on their feet after all of this sort of shit. And as Matt was saying, it is some of the stats that are coming out about this it's just insane. Like, none of us have ever seen anything on this scale in our life, surely.
Yeah. we don't know the full environmental cost yet, and there's going to be some pretty hectic stuff come out once the fires are under control, and we will be hearing, you know, what the environmental cost is, and it's going to be big.
Yeah, it's enormous.
Yeah, that's
I woke up this morning and it is raining here, like just drizzling. And people, I had to go down the shops, down to Kmart to buy some stuff that I needed for around the house, and people were just genuinely so fucking happy that it was raining. Like kids just in the rain, you know, like singing or whatever, and I don't know. It was
have you seen so the shit weird about like the fires that make their own weather and stuff because they're that big?
Yeah,
they make like fire cyclones and shit, or I don't know, is it tornado cyclone, whatever the one on land is.
Probably the most dangerous part of that is that they can actually, given the amount of particulates and stuff in the atmosphere, they can actually, like a fire can create lightning, which creates a fire.
More fire.
It's just, you know, dry lightning is really, you know, like you'll read a lot of fucking shit on the internet that, there's arsonists everywhere in Australia just trying to burn the joint down. But really the thing that starts these fires, you know, because they start in the middle of fucking nowhere where there's no people, is lightning. And then as a result of a fire, dry lightning. So it's like this self-fulfilling prophecy of fucking just destruction. It's nuts. I've done a lot of reading about it over it's been pretty pertinent over the last couple of months. But, mate, I didn't even think such a thing could exist, let alone that it was just happening all the time. But, you know, we're lucky. We've got such incredible volunteers, like the RFSs in each state and rural fire services. They're all volunteers. They get out there and, you know, they're on the front lines fighting this for months at this point. So giving up their day job, getting out there and just saving people. Real guardians, man.
Yeah.
Legitimately fucking... Can't thank the volunteers enough. I haven't been affected up here where I am, but you know,
like in the tropics because it's wet.
Yeah. Well, we actually only had our first fucking seasonal rain 3 days ago. So, but anyway, like it's pretty fucked. So, like we were saying, if you want to donate, Red Cross spreads the donations across people in need and all that sort of shit. If you want to donate specifically, you don't have to go through our campaign. It'd be cool if you did, but if you want to donate specifically, donate to Wires. And just correct me on this, log, if I'm wrong, but don't donate to the RFS directly.
Oh, don't get into this because there's such a fraught chance that we could misspeak. Let's just leave that because that's
okay. Yeah,
look, we chose to do the Red Cross thing. We chose to do the Red Cross thing specifically because it is national. It goes everywhere across Australia because everyone's been impacted, and we didn't want to get ourselves into a point where we like had to pick and choose. Like I'm from New South Wales. That's where most of the fires have been raging for the most part, but. You know, they're in Victoria now. They started out in Queensland. Like back in October, Sassy was fucking evacuated. So it's, you know, and then Huey a couple of months after that, it's been nuts. So for us to be able to do something something that's going to support people nationally is what we wanted to do. Now, there's been a shitload of money raised by, you know, like you look at comedians, Celeste Barber, I think it was up to like 45 million for the New South Wales RFS. So that's incredible.
Can we talk about the fucking really creative shit that people have done for donations?
Oh, like, I mean, obviously, you just want to talk about the chick that was dishing out nudes for donations.
But but like you've got Lufu and the Clickhouse crew. So Lufu, Cray, Fastfee, and all those guys that raised 300,000 for it in like 36 hours or something, which is fantastic.
Incredible.
You've got people like the streaming community. Like I watched Jack Hutto last night walk across he dumped one of his son's fucking boxes of Lego on the floor and then walked across it. You know, we've got Warnie selling his baggy green. We've got this American lass who is like I believe she calls herself a sex worker. I don't know. She's like an OnlyFans thing. But she was like, if you can prove that you donated a minimum of $10 to one of the charities doing work in this country, she would send you, nudes of herself. Like, and she raised $1 million.
Is this a segue?
Like, it's fucking
Is this a segue so you can say that you're going to send people like nudes if they donate
Fuck
more
no.
than $10? Because I had a
Fuck
feeling
no.
that would severely
If
stifle
you
anyone
don't donate
donating.
to Slothy, he's just gonna go like reply all and just
Yeah.
If you're in his
Absolutely
phone,
not. But
if you're in
like,
his phone, you're getting something naughty.
the point I was going to make is that people have been really creative and people have been really giving thus far.
Yeah.
And
It's been incredible.
If you guys like, this whole campaign is obviously to provide support for them. If you guys want to, cool. If you don't want to, because there's been enough done, cool. We're not trying to force you into it.
Yeah,
I guess
no,
that's
God,
the
no.
point that I really want to make. Like, I'm not saying that the boys wanted to do that. I'm not saying that anybody else wanted to do that, but there, like, a lot of people would probably see that there's been a lot of support already. But if you could donate a little bit extra, that'd be cool. Anyway,
And can we segue that into what Bungie's doing maybe when we get on to the
fuck
Absolutely.
yeah.
I mean, that's
TWAB.
that's the meat and bones of the TWAB, but we might as well just fucking hit it now because it's all part of the
Yeah,
same
let's
thing.
go into the TWAB. Let's go into the TWAB.
Yeah.
Hit the soundbite.
Just another thing. Look, if you're here right now and you're donating, I'm going to read everyone's name out at the end. So don't think that we're just fucking ignoring it. It's just if we stop every time someone's going to donate, it's going to derail this because we all have enough trouble staying on topic as it is. Okay. Cool.
Hey, play the soundbite. Play the fucking
Oh,
soundbite.
right, fuck, hang on. Hear that?
Okay.
Sounded like a moose. I mean, like, I don't even know what a moose sounds like, but I imagine it sounds something like that. And if you're from Canada, can you tell me if that is even remotely what a moose sounds like? Thank you.
All right. The reason why, so Matt, in reference to Matt Grundy, he's like, I'll donate to make Sloth send login nude. The reason why that's never going to happen is because he would use that. He would turn that into fodder to throw me under the bus at some point down the track.
I don't want to see your little
Never
dick
gonna
anyway.
happen.
It's fucking just.
Why? Are you upset because I wiped it on you at fucking Boat Builders? Anyway, this week at Bungie, the Devils were reminded of their ruin. Hello and welcome back to
You are the shittest bloke I know.
Yep.
I don't remember that. Anyway, moving on.
You were really pissed. Hello and welcome back to your weekly roundup of Bungie and Destiny 2 related news. We've entered our final week of the dawning, so get to baking if you haven't already earned your sparrows. You have through next Tuesday to complete as many double XP bounties as you can. Additionally, the sundial has been kicked up a notch with a legend difficulty. Yeah, boy. If you are looking to get the Savior title or round out the pinnacle power drops each week, get your fire team together and challenge these scions in the ways of old. A new exotic has also made an appearance, packing a little bit of unstoppable heat, so to speak. Load up the sundial and start your quest to acquire the Devil's Ruin exotic sidearm. Looks kind of cool.
It is cool.
And, yeah, it's very cool.
It's very cool. Like, I'm not sure how useful it is in PvP, but in PvE, it's just super fun just to charge it up and absolutely shoof literally anything in
Because
your
it
way.
becomes a
I don't know what it's like a fusion, nearly
no,
What, like a divinity or something?
a bursty
Yeah,
fusiony
what's
thing.
the line?
Linear
Oh my
fusion
God,
rifle.
Isn't it? No, it's not a linear fusion.
I don't know.
What's Cold Heart called?
Oh,
And the laser tag.
line rifle, something like that.
yeah, line rifle.
I don't know. I'm just making shit
Prometheus
up.
Lens and the Cold Heart.
It kind of becomes that. It kind
The
of doesn't. You
Prometheus
gotta
Lens and the
charge it.
Cold Heart.
Yeah, trace
Yeah,
rifle.
It's like that.
Trace
Trace
rifle. There we
that's
go.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
We love
Oh my
Destiny
God,
2.
that took a while.
We only play 10% of the game. What the fuck do you want from us? Right.
I reckon
we're
10% is
still-
generous for Matty at this point.
We're still warming up from our holiday hibernation, but we're hitting the ground running. This week, we have an update from our game security team, an announcement for a fundraiser to help send aid to Australia, and news on a hotfix coming early next week. Let's get to it. So, first of all, I was really worried that I would read "help send aid to Australia" wrong.
Oh God, don't.
No,
You've got through it.
I
You've
know.
got through it.
Yeah. Right. So I want to just touch on this is that one of my favorite things to do in the last couple of weeks is going to the Bungie security
Oh
forums
yes, this has been
and reading through the Bungie replies to people complaining that they've been banned and all that sort of shit. It's so fucking amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I went to start reading because I saw one of the Bungie devs tweet it. So what is it? It's just the responses by the security. It's just the responses.
One of the Bungie.
Elliot,
of course.
Elliot. It was Elliot. He's like, I can't read this.
Yes.
I can't read this, but you guys should. But I saw it, and like, so in our little private chat, someone who shall remain nameless, it's not any of the three of us, posted a tweet from someone. And this person was like, oh, how did I get banned? How did I get banned? And it got a lot of traction. And then the response to that was, you've been running this account, but we also have multiple other accounts running from the same IP, and you were DDoSing, alt DDoSing and all that sort of thing. And the most juicy part of that is that particular person privated their tweets and changed their account handle because he got caught out. So fucking funny.
I don't know. I mean, I think it was Nick that actually shared before, because I haven't seen Elliot's post, but I'm gonna have to go and look at that now because that sounds fucking hilarious. But Nick shared the Bungie security thing into our chat of our mates and stuff, and was like, "This is a good read," and I was at lunch at work and sat there for an hour just reading through people like, I had fucking Roblox open at the same time. And I think it did something, and that must be so fucking gratifying to sit there and write those emails out like, no, you did this, blah, 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 blah.
Targeted towards Destiny 2.
Here's all the things you've done wrong. This ban will not be overturned. Good job.
I had a script for Roblox for auto farming, and then I opened Destiny 2 and I got banned from Destiny 2 during a PvP game. Really?
Is there much of a cross? I don't mean to be judgmental, but is there really much of a cross section of people who play Roblox and Destiny? Like, is it Roblox for like 10-year-olds?
People they come up with this stuff and they go, I just wanted to try a cheat program. I didn't really want to didn't want to get banned.
I work for the consumer watchdog, and I was just making sure these cheats that people are selling are working.
Yeah, what about, remember that Fortnite guy that got like a permanent ban because he made a video?
Yeah.
And he just wanted to test the cheats for a
like,
video.
look. I mean, we probably should take the high moral ground and say, look, just don't do the wrong thing.
Fuck them.
But in this instance, like we've played it. The irony is that when Sloth said a few weeks ago that 20% of games were being hacked, and then I played comp 2 days later, and fucking 20% of the games that I played, of the 15 games that I played, there was probably about 4 of them there were hackers in them. Like a guy that just had infinite hammers. And I'm like, what have you done, you piece of shit? I reckon Sloth's hacking for sure, just to fucking prove me wrong.
The game security team has been improving Destiny's anti-cheat functionality, which detects players violating any of Bungie's restrictions and ban policies. The anti-cheat improvements will result in more players receiving restrictions and bans. Historically, Bungie has not given players the ability to appeal a restriction or a ban because all restrictions and bans are already reviewed by a trained Bungie employee. However, going forward, we will be providing a resource for players to appeal a restriction or a ban. More details will be available on our appeal contact form, which can be found in the TWAB.
You know what I like about that paragraph? Is they wanted to specify it was a trained Bungie employee, like almost before it was just a Bungie employee. So it would be like, oh yeah, security guard, you want to have a look at this? He's like, nah, fuck him. Nah,
next minute we find out that
the thing that does say, though, if you read between the lines, that they're giving the people the opportunity to appeal, says to me that they're probably going to be instituting some kind of automated system that's going to be a bit more act a bit quicker about some of this sort of stuff. So that there's, where up until now it's all been manually done, reviewed, cross-checked, all that sort of shit. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. But yeah, that's what that says to me. So hopefully that means that people who are cheating can just get fucked. I think this has always been an arms race, right? We spoke about this the other week where, you know, when you're stopping people from manipulating a game, all you can really do is like try and keep up with the people manipulating the game until we get some kind of really advanced anti-cheat that, you know, basically makes a game completely locked down and impervious to it. It's just impossible. And I don't know that can be.
I mean,
be even done.
We've spoken about this before, but maybe they should only have one PV. Like if you get the free game and you do New Light, maybe you should only get one playlist that you have access to.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. In hindsight, while giving people coming in on the free-to-play access to the game, access to the entire Crucible is cool. I think that, you know, like as all the paying customers that are in there are coming up against hackers who almost certainly are using the free-to-play capacity to cheat. And if they're seriously investing money in it and then cheating, knowing they're going to get banned, then, you know, good on them. But I just think that, like, they've got to reconsider that. You know, it was great. It was a great opening sort of avenue, but I'd like to think that they're also looking at, you know, maybe taking a few things back, as much as it'll probably be poorly received by some in the community.
Maybe not have New Light players in Comp Dookie. I 100% agree.
Yeah,
anyway, if you encounter any players suspected of cheating, make sure to use the in-game reporting tool, as well as the report suspected cheating contact form on help.bungie.net. Bungie will never issue a restriction or ban based purely on player reports, but player reports do help us corroborate other evidence. Frivolous appeals will not be considered.
I love that.
I love that line so much.
If you're a bit butthurt and you want to report someone, all you're doing is embarrassing yourself because your name's attached to it as well.
Additionally, not all appeals are guaranteed to be responded to by a Bungie employee. As always, we'll be closely monitoring our security systems to ensure a healthy and fair experience for players who are not violating any of Bungie's restrictions and bans policies.
So basically they're saying like, that you can appeal, you've got a chance to appeal. We might respond to it. So imagine the only people that they're going to respond to are the people that they investigate and say, oh, okay, there's something to this. Maybe, you know, something's gone wrong here and something's triggered the ban when it shouldn't have. But if you're cheating and you know you're cheating and you get fucking banned, just don't waste anyone's time and just fuck off with it. Yeah. Just stop it. Get good. Try harder.
All right. The most important part of the 12, well, at least in our eyes anyway, helping Australia star bright. In the last few weeks, you may have heard about the bushfires that are currently impacting Australia. With every Bungie Foundation effort, we are reminded of how much good can come from the gaming community. Senior Foundation Manager Christine Edwards has details on upcoming events to those in need, opening an avenue for Guardians around the world for lending hands. So I'm not going to take her words and read them verbatim. If you would like to read them, go for it. But basically what she's saying is they're making a limited edition t-shirt that the half of all the profits for the t-shirt sales will go to Wires and the other half will go to the New South Wales Rural Fire Service.
Awesome.
If you donate, if you purchase a t-shirt, it also comes with the Starlight Star Bright emblem, which you may see on the TWAB, which is a star and then a star background, which is really cool.
I wish I had the Southern Cross on it, eh?
Yeah, but then they're going to be tied in with all those racist surfy dickheads.
Bogans. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, maybe simple's best. But see, I wonder if people understand that though. I don't think you would know that if you've never been to Australia.
At any rate, I am very glad that that's the way that they've gone with it. Like it is, it's very, you know, honestly, it's just pretty. Like looking at that thing, it is very, it's just
very
pretty.
Nice.
It's just pretty. I'll pull it up here.
So
there you go.
For those who don't know, who are, you know, don't know about the Australian culture, the Southern Cross is a very common tattoo to have on one's body.
The Southern Cross is on the Australian flag.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's on the Australian flag, and it's Children laughter.
I don't think it was laughter. I think that
That's
was
not laughter.
I think that was
was they
Thea just
crying?
trying to break into the study.
Is she yelling, "Dad"?
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Right. So, and then we've got the Destiny Operations Center. Let's talk about Titans. You know, the ones that like to punch everything into oblivion. The class that sometimes throws their weapon aside in favor for a good old headbutt. BK Spleen, there you go.
Cola.
This Polar,
All of us.
Man at Arms, yeah, all of us. This week, Destiny player support has had some vital information concerning a specific exotic that could amplify the damage of a throwing hammer to game-breaking values. Reference a few videos of people like killing raid bosses in 2 seconds.
Glad's video of Riven killing Riven in fucking 5 seconds. Just
Worm God Caress has been disabled. The Armor 1.0 and 2.0 versions of these gauntlets have been disabled until the fix can be deployed at a later date. And so I think the first one I watched that was Vendetta, and he murderized Zulmak in about 3 seconds flat.
Yeah,
It was
Banhammers, yeah.
Right. So next Tuesday, January 14th, we will release Destiny Hotfix 2.7.0.2. This hotfix will resolve a few known issues, including the EDZ obelisk accessibility and the Eververse waypoint notifications. Thank fuck. And that will be at 8 a.m. PST, 1600 UTC. Destiny 2 maintenance will begin, and 12 p.m. PST. 2,000 hours UTC. Destiny 2 maintenance is expected to conclude. So that is 4 hours maintenance time, ladies and gentlemen. So don't go to Twitter. If you don't read the TWAB, that's your own fault.
You know what? If you get kicked off, just assume you've been banned and just, you know.
Yeah, you've been banned. Fuck off. Yep.
We're really becoming rapidly toxic.
Yeah, that's fine. Known issues: the Leviathan's Breath exotic.
Rewind to the beginning of this podcast. Sloth's New Year's resolution. I want to be less of a scene next Tuesday.
Oh, you know, credit where it's due. He's been really quite nice to us, hasn't he?
The Leviathan's Breast's exotic bow currently cannot be acquired due to an issue with the arms dealer strike, where it can only be completed in Season 8. The Tower Obelisk can sometimes not be accessed. Players encountering this should return to orbit and launch back into the tower. And the Giddy Laugh emote keeps loading in the emote collection and can't be unequipped if slotted.
That's pretty fucking annoying, isn't it?
And look at that. We've got a fucking PvP montage as the movie of the week.
That was a pretty good one, though. It's Frostbolt's one.
Good,
it is actually a pretty
it's a killer thumbnail. Well done. It's a fellow content creator. That's a nice thumbnail.
That's is that
also
bad that we like? Yeah, that's a good thumbnail. Good.
No, before the end of the TWAB, Destiny made its first appearance in Awesome Games Done Quick.
Saw that.
Which was kind of cool. So they did the Last Wish speed run. I think they came in at like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think
the record was like 20,
minutes,
30. 18 minutes or something. So
I got a feeling it was like 38, maybe 33, a roundish number anyway.
So congratulations to those guys who ran that. Didn't get the 2402, which is unfortunate, but you know, it is what it is.
I think 2402, 24 minutes and 2 seconds would have been all right. 24 hours and 2 minutes. Probably not great fodder for games done quick, unfortunately.
But it was kind of good. I actually really enjoy watching speedruns. I don't watch enough of them because I find the commentating, the commentary very bland. But it is fun to watch when people like use exploits to get through like maps really quickly, and they just go and they get through Super Mario Brothers 3 in like fucking 4 minutes or something. Like the entire
Super
game.
Mario and like Dark Souls are probably the best ones to watch, I reckon.
But yeah, that's it for the 12.
So the other big thing that came out this week was obviously the quest that came along with Devil's Ruin. And it was a little bit divisive, honestly, in terms of, we have these quests that come out for specific exotics, and usually there's a bit of work goes into it. In this instance, that wasn't the case. It was basically go do a sundial, go talk to Saint 14, and then go and play hide and seek with some red jacks in the Twilight Gap map, and get a whole heap of dialogue, recorded dialogue, audio dialogue between Saint 14 and Osiris. And then at the end, Shax and Saint 14, which I'm gonna go out there and say that I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a real different change of pace. I do understand why people feel like, given the bar that was set or has been set in the past for this is what it takes to get an exotic weapon, that people were like, wow, that was really short and, not sure how to feel about it. But personally, I really enjoyed that it had exposition in it and it wasn't just going around checking all the boxes and fucking.
Can you imagine if we had been having those types of quests, like sort of peppered throughout Destiny's sort of history, to just put a bit more focus on the world and the story? So, not every exotic quest to be short on that, but every second or third exotic quest to have a shorter stepwise and more voiceover or more storytelling or more visit this location.
There's a lot of exotics that don't have, like, they do have lore, but they don't have the deep lore like, let's say, Galahorn does.
Yeah, well, they that mission basically gave people who hadn't played Destiny 1 the lore of Galahorn, which was, actually one of almost the first lore videos I ever made, which is such a fan favorite. It told the story of Twilight Gap, of, the Guardians that died at Twilight Gap, and we're using that map right now. And then it had a whole bunch of, dialogue between Shax and
it's kind of
Saint 14.
It's kind of so weird. It's weird in a way to hear, because Shax throughout the course of Destiny has always been like really austere. Like you don't ever see his face. Like he's just sort of this like, I am the Crucible, haha, man. That there's you can't really get a read on him as a person beyond the fact that he's massive and awesome. But I think it was just funny, like the you owe me money.
And the little
and
rat man
making him sing.
Rat man.
Yeah, it's
like
just
the drifter,
the rat man in the basement of the tower.
Wasn't this the voice actor that does Shax? He doesn't know anything about Destiny. Like he doesn't follow the game. He's just hired to do the voice lines and all that sort of thing.
That was a quote from like original Destiny. Like not that's a long time ago now. I imagine given the fact that he's still doing it all of these years later, he's probably learned something.
Might know more about it now, but like I still that's still where he is in my mind. And that's like having the reading the I haven't done the mission, but reading the dialogue between that mission is quite fantastic.
Yeah.
That they're getting involved in that, if that makes sense.
Yeah. If you're playing along at home, Morgan from The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead now, or maybe not all of them because I'm pretty sure he died at the end of last season. But
spoilers!
Come on, man! I'm just trying to get it straight in my own head. But yeah, I think if we can get to a point, and this is, I did tweet something to this effect the other day that Destiny 2, especially in the new content model, is always going to be a bit of a song and dance of balancing it off so that things are good for everyone. And they're never going to be perfect for everyone, but they can get better for everyone. So if you're feeling like, it's gone back to catering to the casual, that's, that's your opinion and you're entitled to it. But
yeah, and it's not true unless Forbes writes about it. No, just let me have that one shot and then keep going.
Yeah, you're right. I was gonna follow it up, but I won't because internet fights are meaningless and stupid. So
says the bloke who gets into more fights than the three of us than Matt and I combined.
Yeah, I do have
on
an
the
issue.
internet.
I do have an issue.
You have an issue.
But I think the thing that you got to bear in mind is that Bungie look at this game completely different to we do, in that they are considering it holistically for the entire player base and not just your specific perspective. You might be completely super casual and play for 3 hours a week. And in that instance, you can jump in, you can do this new quest, you can get it done, you can get your bit of dialogue, hear some more from some of your favorite characters, and maybe play a few Crucible games, check out the new gun, and then go back to your life. You know, that's one end of the scale where it's completely perfect. For the hardcore end, and I'm definitely not at that end, but I'm probably halfway along anyway.
You're not. You play fucking 5% of the game, mate.
I heard 3% was the last figure I heard. But anyway, I think that, like, sometimes these things are going to come along. I don't think everything needs to be the same. And if everything changes like this, like quest lengths vary and whatnot, the expectation that comes along with it.
And we've got another one on the 28th anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that one could be fucking 3 weeks long. It could be absolute punish. You know, like that's every complaint ever that could possibly be made about Destiny has been made. It's fucking skill-based matchmaking makes it bad for me to play. I get shit on when there's no skill-based matchmaking. The grind's too long. The grind's too short. This quest is too hard. This quest is too short. Fucking, like, just, it's cool. Let's just move on with our lives. Maddie.
Yeah.
You got a lore video coming out, and we were talking about it the other day, and I'm excited to hear about it. So if I'll probably just put you on the
awesome.
I'll put you on the spot, but there you go.
So, you know, despite my lack of playing Destiny, believe it or not, I do a lot of reading still of all the lore. And actually, what's his name tweeted that they were really quite happy that I covered the Dark Guardians last week. One of the Bungie devs, his name's forgotten me.
The French, there was a French fellow, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how to say his name.
Man, you couldn't get Caber and Kabir right. Just leave it and share the Twitter handle or something, please. I don't want you to ruin
which is really cool because, of course, like Bungie people would consume content and see what's out there. So it's always a bit of a head spin when they like watch a video about stuff they've written. Like, and I think that's really nice as well, like to see how I interpret stuff. So I actually retweeted, like, I've got like a PDF where I read the new books as they come out and I write all the notes about them. And there was what they did with the Garden of Salvation lore is typically they repeat the lore tabs for like warlocks, titans, and hunters. So if you're a warlock and you get the warlock raid piece, it's the same as the hunter raid piece, so you get the same lore. But what they did for the Garden of Salvation is they changed the perspective. So the warlock raid piece was from the warlock's perspective in the story, and the hunter's raid piece was from the hunter's perspective. So they were almost identical lore, but they had a slight twist to it. And so it was really cool. So I was able to sort of tweet back saying, "Oh, you know, great idea with how you just slightly change the lore for each lore, you know, each class." That was really fun. But this next video is, if you hadn't noticed, they also released an update on Prince Aldrin. There's one lore entry that describes what Prince Aldrin's been up to. Doesn't mention him by name, but mentions a purple ghost shell, which is very similar to pulled pork. And then mentions a white silk sheet, which was what Aldrin was buried in the Awoken, not tomb, I guess.
Cologne.
Yes.
I can't pronounce it.
Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, please forgive us. We were born with the disadvantage of being Australian. So
fuck off. I was born with the disadvantage of being Welsh.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, that's even worse.
That's his worse.
Come on, man. You can't give me that look. Seriously, the Welsh language, whatever it is just like a Scrabble box chucked on the floor.
It is Welsh. It is the Welsh language.
I bet you it's not spelt like that. It's got J's in it. It's Welsh. It's got 7
Welsh,
J's in a row.
You peanut. Don't you start ants, you fucking seppo prick.
Right. We're getting back on track. Matt was talking about lore.
Right. So yeah, we're pretty confident it's Prince Aldrin, and the title of the card sounds like amnesia, but really it's a word for amnesty. It's basically amnestia. I thought it was amnesia at first, but it's either Polish or it's the noun for amnesty, and I'm not too sure because it was coming on a Polish English translation. But essentially, the card is about amnesty. It's, do we provide amnesty? Do we forgive Aldrin for his past crimes? Do we give him a pass card?
It was a past life.
Yeah,
He
Oh,
died.
yeah.
We killed him.
and essentially, he's got into a habit now of never revealing his face, because when he would reveal his face, Guardians would fight him. They would hate him. They would start breaking down and crying. So now he just always keeps his helmet on when he's out in public, and he's proper depressed. Like he's isolated himself to a part of a rusted out sea container, and he's quite upset. And so I'm interested to see what they do with his story from now on.
I've got a feeling that they're going to introduce a character with a helmet on that we're going to have to work with, and they won't reveal that it's Aldrin until like we've broken down the barrier of like basically being this character's friend. You reckon?
Same 14 takes it off and is like,
Yeah.
surprise.
There was like, oh. I mean, that would be hard
when we
being an
changed all the
exo and all, but-
timelines, when we changed all the timelines, something happened and somehow Prince Aldrin got in there.
Or Shax takes off his helmet and he's like, hey, who else has got a fucking helmet on? Who else can we scrutinize?
Lady Aphrodite.
Well, I mean,
it's Aldrin. Hello, Guardian. Oh my god. Sup?
g'day.
G'day.
Yeah, right. There's
So,
thought.
hang on. We've heard this from multiple sources. Some we can name, some we can't name. But season 10 is supposed to be the fucking this fantastic, like when Destiny, like Luke Smith said, it's where we move into the next stage of Destiny.
I think
If
that
that makes sense.
I'm trying to think. Was it did Robbie Stevens say something to that effect in the Vidoc for Season of Dawn, that they were introducing a lot of sort of story arcs that were beginning over these two seasons, like, and then like Season of the Undying, Season of Dawn, and that Season 10 will be when they really start to tie them all together and push the narrative forward with impetus.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what happens.
Because
Fuck, it makes me nervous whenever you say stuff like, "Oh, people that we can't name."
No. Like people, not so much that we can't name, but people that we probably shouldn't name, but people that we speak to on a regular basis. Like we're not under NDA, and neither are they, but they don't tell us anything. But they say that they are excited for season 10.
Yeah, so take that as a tidbit.
No, it's like season 10. Like we don't know what's coming in season 10, but every person that we've spoken to, and every time we go back and watch the docos and all that sort of thing, season 10 is where the game is going to pick up with a lot of new story arcs and all that sort of thing, which I'm kind of excited for. And hopefully, well, I'm going to say the T word. Hopefully, they figure out how Trials is going to make its way back into the game. Hopefully, I don't know how that's going to look, but hopefully.
I'm gonna save this from my Crucible talk and go back to lore. So, I
wasn't going to go into Crucible, but
you've just ruined the one time that we're actually going to agree and then move on anyway.
Oh right, there you go.
Yeah.
You dumb fuck.
So look, my prediction's right. I'll tell you the last little bit about Aldrin. They introduced in this card that he has a ring on a chain. Very specifically, the two things he woke up with, or three things: busted up armor, the white silk sheet, which I think is what he was buried in, and a ring
in his hand. Oh,
well,
sorry.
probably that, and a ring, right? And from what I can find in my notes, I've never known. I can't work out what this ring is about and the significance of it. However, this is what I think would make a cool narrative: is if you read the Forsaken Prince, which is the story of Prince Aldrin, he was like uber happy, uber jolly, and there's an entry called in there. There's two entries in there called the length of a chain, and it very specifically says that this ring is on a chain. And for me, the ring, like the silk sheet, represents his royalty. It's the upper class, right? And it's on a chain. So I'm predicting this ring is like a burial gift from Mara Solve. And the symbolic nature of it is this: the end of length of a chain basically is Aldrin trying to free himself of his sister. And he can never do that because he always feels obliged to follow her lead, to follow her instructions. And the whole thing is the length of a chain is you never know how you are tied to someone until you try to escape them, and you work out how long the chain is. And you either get pulled back or you work out you're free. And so we've got a happy, joyful Prince Aldrin that ends up being a very dark Aldrin after he goes in the Black Garden. And now we've hit the reset button. So we've actually gone back to him not necessarily being evil, so to speak, or not necessarily being the Aldrin we knew, and he's hit the reset button. And now he's got a chain around his neck with a ring on it, which I think probably represents Marasov. So it's a nice little reset to be like the length of a chain. When Marasov re-enters a narrative, how is it going to affect Aldrin as a character? Is he going to conflict with Mara, or is he going to be still bound to his sister despite his lack of memory?
You know what I want to see? I want to see the Aldrin wearing a helmet, talking to Marasov, doesn't take the helmet off because he gets his shit kicked out of him every time he takes the helmet off.
Yeah.
He doesn't recognize her because he's fucking dead and resurrected. She doesn't recognize him because he's wearing a helmet and thinks that he's dead. There we go. Bizarro world.
Two ships passing in the night.
This is why I don't write narrative. There you go.
Yeah, you know what? I hope Aldrin comes back and we convince him to kill her.
That would be interesting.
Triggering statement by Real Time Sloth. What we might do is open up the chat to everyone, and I'm going to go through and read the frankly staggering amount of donations that we've had so far during this episode, and give you all credit for that. And I'll interrupt people as we go forward from here. But if you've got any questions for us going forward, there was actually a really good one a little while back, Salty. I saw that you saw that. So if you want to jump into that one, we can do that. But yeah, if you've got any questions, fire away. Hang on, what's going on?
Okay,
here?
so Grave from the Grave asks, he directed it at me, but are you guys going to go back to Anthem after the reboot, the massive reboot? I'll give it a look. Matt, you might give it a look, maybe, possibly. Log probably won't.
It depends how hard they go at it, man. Honestly, because I didn't inherently hate Anthem. I kind of got this feeling from it. Even just from, I never bought it. I played the beta, and I got a feeling from it that it was super hollow, and that put me off. And it ended up being largely correct. So, pat on the back for me. I'm awesome. We all know that. But if they can find a way to take, because honestly, there are parts of that game that are incredible and incredibly satisfying. The flight mechanics, some of the weapons stuff, it was cool, no doubt, but it was just so hollow. So if they can put enough meat on the bones, I mean, I'm Australian. I'm not sure if this is a universal thing, but Australians love a comeback story. So I absolutely will. I mean, I'm not going to dismiss it out of hand. So,
Look, I don't think it's a universal story, comeback stories, because if anyone follows UFC, Conor McGregor and Cowboy are fighting in a week, essentially. And the amount of hate on the internet that went from towards Conor McGregor to him just showing one interview being humble, and everyone's like, "Our boy is back!" Yeah. I'm like, did you forget he punched an old dude in the pub? Did you forget that?
He's the world's highest paid UFC fighter, and he punched an old man in a pub
who didn't want to drink his shitty whiskey.
Fuck.
But it's gonna be a good fight.
Who's going down, Cerrone or McGregor? I fucking hope McGregor gets knocked on his ass.
Make a better story. I think McGregor's going to be in better shape than Cerrone. He looks Cerrone's been taking on so many fights. He is still an amazing fighter, but I don't know if his heart's in it anymore. He does a lot of shit. He likes scuba diving, riding his bikes, just riding horses. He was doing
he's just a modern day fucking action man.
He's a modern day action man, and I don't know how much of his heart's in being a champion. I think he does it to make money. I think there's a difference between that and Conor McGregor wants to be champion again, even though he has all the money in the world.
I think I just really like Conor McGregor so much because he reminds me of Brad Pitt's character from Snatch. The fighting gypsy dude. I'm not sure. I hope that's not some kind of horrible
I think it is, but
fucking thing that I've just said there, but that's not the way I mean it. I mean it in an endearing way. Like, he just reminds me of that character, and I love that movie so much that he'll always
so
fucking,
it
no
reminds
matter
me
how
of
much of a
Brad
flog
Pitt's-
he is, he'll get a pass from me.
Did you see that before? That people were tagging me there before that it's Lenny James that plays Shax, but Lenny James is also in Snatch.
What? Oh.
Lenny James, who was in Snatch,
Fuck, I'm gonna
also
have to watch
plays
it again.
Shax.
I haven't watched it for a good few years. Right.
No, neither.
Yeah. He's been in The Walking Dead for a long time. He's been in heaps of shit. He's in TV shows and stuff now.
Who
All
gives
right.
a fuck about The Walking Dead? It's fucking shit.
I mean, I think I'm the only person they still make that show for, so I'm happy with it. It's a huge production just for the fucking Power Slave household to watch.
Speaking of media that we have consumed over the last couple of weeks, my wife and I watched The Witcher, like 90% of the world has, which is fucking fantastic.
Going to your Witcher.
Stop it.
Oh, Valley, you're plenty. You can't fucking leave it hanging.
Oh, Valley, plenty.
I need to bring this meme up. I sent it to Danny, and I could not stop laughing in the office at work. And it's just like this. It's a goose on one side going sucking in, and then it goes. Oh, so clean. And then the next one is the next one is
going back and going.
yes, yeah. And then the next one is this cat wearing a hat in a mountain going, "Oh, Valley,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
The Jimmy Barnes cat, yeah.
The Jimmy Barnes cat's fantastic. No, like that show's fantastic. I also finished off The Mandalorian, which is awesome.
Yeah, Mando
And
wrapped
then-
up. I think that wrapped up before we finished up, didn't it? I don't know. Anyway, moving on.
I don't know, but and then I watched Cowboy Bebop from start to finish again recently, and Attack on Titan from start to finish again recently. And I actually remember on how much I hated the main character of Attack on Titan, but
the boy.
Yeah,
Eren Yeager.
Yeah, he is annoying. Aaron.
far. Oh, yeah.
He's really annoying.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with
Yeah.
you.
But
It's
and
kind of
then-
weird, that show, actually, when I think about it, because I kind of go for the Titans, which is...
Yeah, so do I.
I don't know why. Like, they're so gross, and you just kind of feel sorry for them, just lumbering around.
Well, have you seen season 2?
I don't know.
Where they're
Probably.
riding out between Wall Rose and Wall Mario?
No, I don't think
As a
I have.
scout
now that you
regiment?
mention it. I don't think I have.
Oh,
there you go. I've got fucking that to watch. Good.
Yeah. It's actually there's a scene where Titan's like like in like Ringu and shit like that, where she's walking backwards, like doing the backwards crab walk.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a Titan doing that, but it's like breaking bones and shit and chasing someone on a horse.
fucking-
It's terrifying. I love it.
Unsubscribe. Right, I'm going to go through the incredibly generous donations that we've received just during the runtime of the show today. So in an hour and fucking 15 minutes. We've had Matt Grundy in with the very poetic $69.
Nice.
You fucking cheeky devil. I know what you did there. You made it sexy. Good job. He says, hope this helps. Love from Pennsylvania. Good on you, mate. Zenko Kazai, $1. Sorry I'm poor, but have a buck. What a fucking legend. Mr. Green, $50. Keep it, boys. Keep it. Well, we're not keeping the $50. It goes to charity, but that's fine. Not much, but every dollar counts. Fucking oath, man. $50 is a huge effort. It's incredible. Lurch, 873, $5. Tenchi, $50. Yer, $15. He says, all I can do at the moment, I hope everyone is and will stay safe. Fucking thank you, Yer. Oh, here we go. Mrs. Power Slave, $50. Says, well done, guys. That is the only compliment I'm going to get for this
From your
whole-
wife?
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to give myself a pat on the back because I suppose it's $25 of my money, given them everything's cool. Good on you, Log. Good on you, mate.
Are you kidding me? Lenny James is in Line of Duty?
Sure, this is more important than the awesome stuff Lenny James does. This is fucking, we're showing some gratitude here. X-Player 4, $50. Miketh, $50. Thank you so much for doing this charity campaign.
There's
No,
heaps
thank
of
you for getting
donations.
involved.
You guys are great.
I
Holy
know,
crap.
that's why I've been trying to fucking get to it.
Yeah, right.
Cram RM, $10. And I don't know, this is anonymous. It's a lot of text. I'm just worried that it's like Chucky or someone and it's going to have swear words. Well, I mean, it's this podcast. $75 says, you all are great for standing up this effort. My heart goes out to everyone who's been kicked in the teeth during this horrible ordeal. I hope you folks know the world has your back and everyone not on your continent are in awe of how tough you Aussies are. Be safe. That is an incredibly kind message. So whoever you are, Anonymous, you're an absolute champion. Thank you very much. So I think that of itself is like, man, I'll do quick maths. Let's go.
Quick maths pulled up a calculator on his fucking computer.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing it in my head. Fucking hell. It's a weekend, mate.
You're a fucking scientist.
Yeah, I'm a scientist with a fucking calculator, mate. Fucking hell. So just through the course of today's episode, that's $425. That is fucking insane.
Nice.
Yeah, cheers.
That is insane. That is insane. Yes. So we'll be back again tonight, obviously, doing more for this and having a good time, which, you know, it's, as much as it's a somber thing that we're raising money for, we're not going to be too dour about it, as serious as it is. We want to have a great time and help everyone have a great time. So, yeah, that's the plan. So let's get back to a few questions and then we'll piss off out of here and we'll be back later.
Oh, yeah, what about that? Yeah, we'll do that too.
Matty's got to, do you want to explain to everyone your bullshit hectic day, Matthew?
Yeah. I got up at, what was it, about 6 a.m. and then I started editing because, you know, the thing about starting a second YouTube channel, you got to do more. You got to do more editing. So I edited for 2-3 hours, and then we went to brunch with one of our really good friends who's heavily pregnant. She's going to pop out a baby soon, and then we got straight home, and then we went into the podcast, and then I've got my auntie's 50th. I'm going to run off to after this. Said I can only spend a couple of hours there, and then we'll be back for the live stream, and whenever we finish that, that's Saturday. Done.
Just easy. Just a cruisy Saturday for my one.
Just a cruisy Saturday.
Fuck, man. You're lucky you're a little bit younger than me and Slothy. I don't think either of us would survive that. We'd get about halfway through and then just turn into a complete
I also don't have children either, so, you know, I can be like that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Well, cool.
Aldrin take on the Vanguard dare at Mylan Games, or does it not count as his reset?
I mean, the Vanguard dare applies to everyone. I would have thought it's a way of selecting the Hunter Vanguard. Would you
just imagine the fucking uproar and the fucking tears and all that sort of thing of the community if he became the fucking Hunter Vanguard?
Because technically he killed
the Hunter Vanguard. He should be the Hunter Vanguard.
Yeah.
He absolutely should be. So I don't know. I mean, they bring Aldrin back. They're clearly setting the precedent of the fact that he's wearing the helmet, because if any time anyone recognizes him, they fucking attack him.
I tell you what, if a Hunter Vanguard comes in that does not remove the helmet, it's Aldrin. I'm telling you that right now.
If the helmet stays on, it's hang on, there's some severe implications there.
That's like a fucking Pornhub. That's a Pornhub. Most of Pornhub's actors are not step siblings.
Oh, what the fuck? Can we look? What the fuck is wrong with the world when that is like? Why is that everywhere?
Why is it so prevalent that most porn places, most porn production companies make stepbrother, stepsister porn?
I don't know. I mean, it'd be a great conversation, I guess. With
I'll tell you what, if anything makes me question the fucking austerity and future of Western civilization, it's that. Because that shit's
I mean,
fucked.
let's be honest here. There's probably some fucking people out there who probably want to fucking bone their mum or their fucking stepsister or brother or whatever.
Oh yeah, better cater to them. Fuck. God.
It's all of
welcome to the back end of the podcast.
Yeah, welcome to the back end of the DDU. If you're new here, we don't often talk about Pornhub, but when we do, we really get into the nitty gritty of it. So buckle in, it's going to be a wild ride.
Family law practitioners frequently freaking.
Just dishing out business cards. Oh, wow.
Right.
we go.
Shall we wrap this shit up?
Yeah. I mean, I
Right.
don't think we can fuck it up anymore. But
Right. So,
do you know what the
ladies and
worst thing
gentlemen,
is? You know what the worst thing is? That when I write out the description of this that's going on Twitter, I'm going to have to write Pornhub or something.
just tag Pornhub.
Knocking off his
Maybe,
stepsister.
maybe you'll improve our analytics, mate. Just put some tags in there.
Oh, mate, it's like when I did Plundercast. When I did Plundercast and I had booty in the fucking like pirate game, complete genuine use of the word booty, and it got one tweet got retweeted by porn bots for 6 months.
Maybe
Don't
that's what
write-
we need to do. Let's just keep putting, puns into the
you know
titles.
what, Ned? Just tag Pornhub. Just tag Pornhub Aria. Then you're done. Okay.
Yeah, right.
All right. Okay.
Oh man, it's good
Ladies
to
and
be
gentlemen,
back. It is good to be back.
This is a thing. This is a thing that we do. Right, ladies and gentlemen, if you are new to the podcast, welcome. We are the DDU.
Hang
we
on.
talk lots of Destiny and
Did we
bullshit.
not come back last week?
No.
You have been deep in pajama land, Matt. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. I'm gonna play some uplifting music behind
To touch on some other shit. So tonight we are doing a charity, like a streaming as a podcast from this channel, with our very good friend of the cast, Jay Sniperson, and we're going to be playing some Destiny and all that sort of thing. So turn notifications on. Keep an eye on the Twitter at DDU_podcast. And thank you very much for watching, to our live audience. Thank you for donating live. Thank you for subscribing and all that sort of thing. Makes the donations towards the Red Cross rather is fantastic. Thank you very much. It really goes a long way there, whether it's $1 or 500. And to the for people who subscribe to the podcast, thank you very much. It helps with the running of the podcast as well. Cool. To our YouTube subscribers, go fuck yourselves. You're on the wrong platform.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, let them go. They're all right.
No, please hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications that you'll never receive. And let us know if we missed anything during the podcast. Questions, queries, doubtful points, and all that sort of shit. And to our audio-only listeners, the fucking real MVPs of this podcast, thank you. Let us know on Twitter.
They're the real MVPs. All right, we're gonna sign out with something different. I'm starting a new trend this year on the DDU. Matt has to read out your version of The Law Will Find You at the back end of the podcast. So if you're still here and you've got a version, but I'm going to nominate one. I'm going to nominate Etsy's. Matt, if you would like to read that just to round out the episode, and then I think we'll get out of here. Don't laugh.
In 2020, the law will find you making out with your stepsister.
Oh, stand by for a raid.
And Pornhub. Thank you for watching. See you tonight.
Fuck.